Hi there, thanks for stopping by this video. I'm sure you've also received a gift that made you smile the moment you opened it, but eventually turned into a long-term guest hiding in your closet. And from moments like that, I had a pretty sharp realization. Gifts are like hooks, they can pull us closer, or quietly create a bit of awkward weight no one intended. No one gives a gift hoping it becomes a burden. It only happens when the gift simply doesn't fit the person receiving it. So in this video, I want to share 8 thoughtful, cleaner, and more intentional ways to give gifts, ones that keep the sincerity without accidentally adding more stuff to someone's home. These are tips I've used for years, especially for people who love simplicity and a clutter-free space. I hope that after watching choosing the right gift will feel surprisingly easy and a lot more meaningful. Start with this tip. People might forget a quirky, one-of-a-kind gift, but they remember for a very long time the gift that quietly makes their everyday life a little easier. Those are the things they reach for every single day without even noticing how often they use them. There's something almost invisible but powerful about these small, everyday upgrades. They don't look dramatic. They don't create a big reaction when unwrapped. No one screams, no one cries happy tears, but they slip so naturally into someone's routine that before long the old version gets donated, tossed, or just naturally retired, and your gift becomes the new normal. A mug that feels good to hold. A pillow that supports better so they wake up without neck pain. A whisk that actually mixes smoothly instead of splattering everywhere. A tote bag with stronger handles and an extra pocket so they don't have to dig around for keys anymore. Tiny improvements in objects they already use can add comfort in places they didn't even realize felt a bit off. And the beauty is, they don't have to change their habits at all. You're not asking them to learn a new gadget, download an app, or figure out how to use some fancy tool. You're simply upgrading something they were only tolerating. Most of us have items like that, things we use every day, even though they're slightly annoying, worn out, or lower quality than we'd actually like. When you upgrade one of those items, the person feels cared for in a very real, practical way. You're not just giving a thing. You're making daily life a little smoother, a little softer, a little kinder. And even if you choose carefully, there's always a chance the gift isn't quite right. That's where the next tip comes in, giving them room to adjust your gift so it truly fits. Next, giving a gift with an exchange option is like giving a jacket with a drawstring. The person can loosen it, tighten it, and adjust it until it feels right for their body, their life. That exchange option could be a gift receipt without the price, listed a simple e-voucher, or even just a gentle handwritten note. Please feel free to swap this for a different color or style, if that works better for you. I won't be offended, I want you to enjoy it. That one line takes away so much invisible pressure. Because the truth is, not every gift we pick will be a perfect match. The color might be just slightly off from what they usually wear. The fit might be close, but not comfortable. Or maybe they already own something very similar you couldn't have known, but it happens. I once bought a pale blue scarf for someone. It was exactly the shade I adored. But as she opened it, I remembered how she always reached for rich, deep tones. So I added a small note in the box. If this color doesn't feel like you, please exchange it for something that does. She ended up swapping it for a warmer, deeper color and wore that version all winter long. Adding the option to exchange doesn't make your gift feel less heartfelt. In many cases, it's what allows the gift to be genuinely loved and used. The recipient feels relaxed, not trapped. They know they don't have to keep something that isn't quite right just to avoid hurting your feelings. Sometimes that flexibility is the most thoughtful part of the gift. It sends a very clear message: I see you, I respect the way you live, and what. Some gifts are not meant to stay forever. They're meant to be opened, enjoyed, and then quietly disappear. A gift with a life cycle doesn't ask for a permanent spot on a shelf. It doesn't become one more thing to store or dust. It moves through someone's life, adds a bit of comfort or pleasure, and then it's gone without guilt or clutter. Think about a box of really good cookies, a tin of loose-leaf tea, a small jar of honey, a beautiful bar of soap, or a candle that burns down over a few cozy evenings. None of these items expect to be displayed or kept for later. They slip into routines that already exist. Breakfast work breaks, evening showers, quiet nights on the sofa. The point isn't to be seen, the point is to be used. I still remember a friend giving me a set of small spice jars. Each one lasted only a couple of weeks. I sprinkled them into ordinary dinners, roasted potatoes, soups, simple vegetables, and every time it felt like a little upgrade. When the spices were gone, I rinsed the jars and recycled them. Nothing stayed, but the feeling did. She knew exactly what would brighten the kind of days I actually have. In a world where many people are trying to own less, gifts with a built-in ending can feel like a relief. You're not handing them a permanent responsibility. You're offering a series of small, contained moments that fit into their real life. The value isn't in how long the object survives, but in how fully it's in. Giving a gift without noticing how someone actually lives is like planting seeds on stone. It can look hopeful for a moment, but nothing really takes root. A top gift of the year might be stylish, expensive, and all over social media. But if it doesn't fit into the rhythm of the recipient's life, it will quietly slide into a drawer, a cupboard, or the back of a closet, not because it's bad, but because it doesn't belong. Gifts don't live in photos or ads. They live in real homes with real schedules, real preferences, and real limitations. Someone with a minimalist apartment and a strong dislike for clutter probably doesn't need another decorative piece, no matter how tasteful. A busy parent who barely has time to sit down might not appreciate a complicated gadget that takes ages to set up and learn. You don't have to decode their entire personality. Just pay attention to a few simple clues. What do they carry every day? How is their home arranged? Full, cozy, clean, minimal, playful? Are their surfaces usually clear or covered with things? Do they love cooking or do they order on most nights? Do they talk more about experiences or objects? Those details tell you a lot. A friend who bikes everywhere might value a really good pair of gloves or a practical rain cover. Someone who works from home and reads a lot might appreciate a small warm reading lamp more than a fancy serving platter. A person who loves quiet nights might prefer a good blanket or a set of calming teas over a loud party-centered gift. When you give to their lifestyle, not to the trend list, you're not just avoiding clutter, you're showing that you truly see who they are. And noticing this kind of detail becomes much easier when you're not rushing. Which leads to the next tip, changing how early you start thinking about gifts. I think this part really matters. No one chooses a deeply meaningful gift while panicking in a store aisle. When the clock is ticking, your brain usually lands on anything is fine. I just need something. In contrast, the most fitting gifts often start weeks earlier with a casual sentence someone drops and then forgets. A little comment like, "I've been meaning to find a better water bottle," or "My back has been killing me in this chair." I once had a cousin mention in passing that she wanted a small water bottle that could slip into her bag and not leak when she was running between classes. I wrote it down in a note on my phone and didn't think much about it. The night before her birthday, instead of wandering around a store grabbing whatever looked nice, I opened that note. The idea was already there. I found a bottle that matched what she'd described: compact, easy to hold, leak-proof, and simple in design. It wasn't flashy, but she ended up using it every single day. And each time she pulled it out, she smiled and said things like, "This is so perfect," or "I still can't believe you remembered exactly what I said." That's the power of thinking ahead. My simple system is this: whenever a friend or family member mentions something they want, need, or are struggling with, I write it down. one list in my notes app with their names and those tiny clues. I don't pressure myself to act on every single one, but when a birthday or holiday rolls around, a common habit when giving gifts is wanting to surprise the recipient. We often think that an unexpected gift will make a strong impression and spark instant delight. But in reality, sometimes that very surprise causes the gift to miss the mark. No matter how beautiful, expensive, or carefully wrapped it is, if it doesn't match their actual needs or habits, it can easily end up unused. I remember giving a gift based on my own idea to a friend, thinking it would be more fun than anything she had mentioned before. Yet just a few weeks earlier, she had casually said, "I've been looking for a travel neck pillow for flights." I overlooked that hint and chose something I thought was more interesting. The result? The gift sat untouched in her closet, and a few days later, she went out and bought the exact neck pillow she wanted. This shows that knowing what someone likes isn't enough. The key is listening and selecting exactly what they've explicitly mentioned. There's no need for the twist or a grand surprise. When a gift matches what they've actually said, it already holds meaning and demonstrates genuine care. This approach becomes even more effective when combined with gifts that are immediately usable or short-term experiences. A travel pillow, a box of morning tea, or a small baking kit you can try right away, these items get used, make the recipient happy, and preserve your thoughtfulness without adding clutter or awkwardness. Some of the most powerful gifts don't come as objects at all. They arrive as a few hours that feel different from everything else in the week, a night out, a quiet afternoon, a simple moment where someone can finally breathe. When you give an experience, you're not adding to their belongings. You're giving them time that feels set apart. Think of a concert ticket for a band they love, a pottery or baking class they've mentioned, a massage for a friend whose shoulders are always tense, or a cinema voucher for a movie they're excited about. The ticket will be used once and thrown away, but the story of that day often gets retold again and again. Remember that night when the whole room sang along? Experiences don't always require going out or spending a lot. You can create one at home, a slow morning kit with pancake mix, a playlist, and a note saying, "Please do nothing else on Sunday except this," or a quiet evening box with tea, a candle, and a handwritten card inviting them to take one night just for themselves. The items are only tools. The real gift is the pause. I once gave a friend a ticket to a small indie show. It wasn't fancy or expensive, but it was a band she loved and would never have bought a ticket for herself. Months later, she still brings up little details from that night. The ticket is long gone, but the memory has a clear place in her mind. That's the strength of experience-based gifts. They don't fight for space in a closet or on a shelf. They ask for presence, not storage. And when they're over, nothing needs to be organized, except maybe the way the person remembers being cared for. And finally, kindness should never come at the cost of your own well-being. Setting a budget is how you give generously without draining yourself in the process. So many of us have fallen into the trap of chasing the perfect gift, often to the point of unnecessary stress. The pressure to impress or meet unspoken expectations can turn gift-giving into a heavy obligation. I've been there too, buying something expensive, feeling unsure about the cost, and ending up more anxious than joyful. Over time, I realized the gifts people treasure most aren't always the most expensive ones. They're the ones chosen with care, thoughtfulness, and sincerity. And the only way to give like that without burning out is to set clear boundaries. Decide what's a reasonable amount for you to spend and stick to it. It won't make your gift any less meaningful. In fact, it makes the whole experience lighter, more intentional, and more personal. When you know your limit, you stop chasing price tags and start focusing on what actually matters: the recipient's needs, routines, and personality. Instead of scrambling for something flashy or generic at the last minute, you'll find yourself picking things that feel just right. And more importantly, you'll feel good while doing it, not stressed about how it'll affect your finances. I've learned that what people remember is the care, the attention to detail, not the amount on the receipt. A small, thoughtful gift often leaves a deeper impression than something expensive that came with personal sacrifice. Setting a budget doesn't limit your generosity, it protects it. It keeps your giving grounded, sustainable, and genuinely kind. And when that intention is paired with a gift that truly fits the person, it becomes a beautiful experience for both sides, one you'll actually enjoy and they'll never forget. A gift doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be chosen with clarity and heart. These 8 gift-giving tips don't just help you pick the right gift for the right person at the right time, they also create moments that are cherished and remembered for a long time. If you want each gift to truly bring joy without becoming a burden, follow these steps carefully, paying attention to the recipient's habits and real needs. Next, don't miss my video on re-decluttering your home, where you'll learn how to transform your living space into a tidy, relaxing, and energizing environment. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so every day you can enjoy the simple pleasure of a lighter home and meaningful gifts.